Hey Cougars, we're going to talk about the abrasive blast cabinet today. So we cut up some angle iron on the using some different cutting tools, and each of those saws left a sharp edge. So I'm going to knock that edge off with a file. Just a little bit nicer to work with that material. All right, we're going to use the abrasive blast cabinet, often called a sandblaster, but the abrasive that we have inside is not sand. We use silica, which is essentially small glass beads, or we use iron oxide. So we got iron oxide in here right now. We're going to use compressed air. There's an air compressor in the other room, and this is a dust catcher. We want to make sure we knock the dust catcher loose. We make sure our air is in line. This means open. It's in line with the pipe. There's a little dial here. Water can condense inside of the air compressor. You can get water condensation. We don't want water going into the spray booth, so we want to blow it out to start. Make sure a little water will come out of here. Now we're going to bring it over. Cabinet door lifts open. We got the on and off switch over here. We have a gun, a hose that is pulling compressed air in, a hose that's sucking up the sand, and we have a foot actuated pedal. When I step on the pedal, sand or iron oxide is going to get shot out of this nozzle at about 110 pounds per square inch. And it's going to clean up that piece of metal. All the mill scale is going to come off, and the rust is going to come off. We're going to have a nice, clean piece of metal. Drop the cabinet hood. Clamp it closed. Hands go into the gloves. Now, I got to turn it on. I'm not sure how well you can see through the sandblasting glass, but I took off all the rust and I took off all the mill scale, that gray scale that's on the outside of the metal. It's going to give us a lot cleaner weld. I'm going to leave the dust collector on for a moment to help pull the dust out of the cabinet, and then I'm going to sandblast these other pieces before we weld them together. Oh, that's a clean piece of metal. All right, let's finish it up. So these guys still have that sharp edge on them. This one's okay. This one's okay. One of these has these two have pretty big sharp edges. And I love the file, but let's use another technique to take this sharp edge off. We're going to use the bench grinder. All right, a 1.5 horsepower motor on this baby. It's probably older than me, but it's in good working condition. We can change these abrasive wheels out. And one thing you want to be sure, whenever you're grinding on this, you're on the bed, right? No fingers or hands close by. If you have a short, small piece of metal, you got to grab it with a vice grip or a plier. This is the one machine in class where I have had an accident. A student was grinding a very small piece of metal, and it got pulled into this space between. He went to grab it, and, well, he did not win that tug of war. Pulled his thumb in, and it ground off about half of his thumbnail. He's okay though, and with half a thumbnail, there's enough there to grow it back. So Miguel ended up with 2 regular thumbs in the end. All right, So let's turn it on. This pin gets pushed in. The on switch goes. We're going to give it a minute to let it gather and get up to speed. And then you can hear it's humming now. I'm going to grind off these sharp edges. Never on the side of the wheel, only on the face. Let me get that other piece, clean it up. This has a lot of momentum. It takes a few minutes to stop spinning, but be sure you turn it off, and once it's off, you can walk away. Produces a lot of heat, and again, this is an abrasive wheel, so it's being used up, it's being consumed as we're using it. You'll notice that I moved my piece back and forth. If you just stay in one spot, you're going to grind a groove into the wheel. So when we're using it, we're moving things back and forth on the bed. Okay, let's sandblast these and we're going to weld them up. Okay, the sandblaster's not working. I can see it's not taking off the scale. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to block the nozzle with my thumb or my finger, step on the pedal, and look for sand to bubble up from the bottom if there's a clog. Okay, I'm seeing it bubble up from the bottom. And now we're cleaning metal again. All right, we're going to leave the fan on for a minute and let it clear out the dust. And then we're going to lay this stuff out and weld it up.